Well, defeats are always going to come, Scott, always hard to take, but what did you make of today's performance?
I think it was a game of stages. I thought the first 20 minutes, I think maybe with the crowd being back in, give everybody a bit more, I don't know what the word to use is really. I don't want to say anxiety because we've got confident players, but even our clearances, it was a bit nervy first 20 minutes. They scored the goal, and then I thought we got ourselves back into the game by doing what we worked so hard on the training field, and then unfortunately I think the game was lost in the first 20 minutes of the second half. But listen, it's one game of football. I touched on in the press during the week that nothing's going to happen now. You're not going to win promotion now, so it's about continuing to build, and we'll be okay in the long term. Over the last 5-6 games, the points total is very good. If we continue that from now to the end of the season, we'll be fine.
Look at the results before the game. I mean, they'd only lost 3. I know they've drawn a lot, so it shows they're going to be a difficult side to beat. You know, I mean, that's the sort of game you expected, I'm sure.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you've got to give them credit. I thought the game plan was good. They sat in first half, but then I thought the second half, start of the second half, they really come for us, and that's where we've got to be. We've got to use our experience when we're out there and maybe change what we're doing. It comes from us as players. As I say, there's enough experience out there to recognise what's happening and see that the game is changing, and we've got to change with it. Today, that first 20 minutes of the second half killed us, and then from there was a mountain to climb. So, but we stayed together. The group has to stay together. Got to respond to the defeats as we have as the victories, and then I say long term we'll be fine.
Yeah, Gaffer was saying you gave the ball away in possession a lot in midfield and defensive positions, and probably as busy as you've been for a while in the game today, Scott. You made a lot of good saves.
As I say, it's one game. I think we have to recognise how the game was going, and maybe if you're not getting success one way, maybe you change and get success a different way. But that comes from us on the pitch. We have to take responsibility of that. And we'll learn from it going forward.
You just touched on it a few moments ago about that, that first 20 minutes, and were you all a bit nervous with the crowd being back in? I suppose it's a bit of a learning curve. I'm just saying to the gaffer, it was mid-February the last time you had a crowd in here, for a game. It's a long time, so you need to adjust a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't think I'd say nervous. I think maybe too excited. I think we were all, me personally, I can only speak for myself, but I was looking forward to them coming back so much, and from the warm-up onwards, you give me the hairs on the back of my neck was standing up going out for the warm-up, so I've missed them, so I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure the other lads have missed them. Some lads, it was the first time playing in front of a crowd at Prenton Park, but listen, we'll be better for it. We just got to move on now, and as I say, we've got to stay together and not respond in the wrong way. We have to respond in the right way.
My positive spin is you've just lost 1 in the last 6, so if you can keep on doing that for the rest of the season, doesn't matter when that defeat comes, does it? I mean, that's going to be a great run through for you.
Yeah, and I think that's something in the teams I've always been promoted with. You go through in blocks of 5-6 games, and you think to yourself, I personally again, I look how many points would we want out of this next 5-6 games, and if you look at the last 5-6 games points total, very good. So now we reset, and we go again on Saturday. We've got the cup in midweek, but with regards to the league, we reset and we go again, and hopefully in 5-6 games time we've got another good total. So as I say, it's one game.
Yeah, and a great spirit in the squad. You see it before the game, where you're all, as a group, even the lads that aren't involved today, you see it when the subs come on, they're straight into the game and active as well. And that's the reason why I think you'll push forward and keep the consistency going.
Yeah, I totally agree. But as I said, it's easy responding to victories. It's easy keeping harmony when you're winning. Now when we've lost a game, we really have to stick together. And that's when you see the strength of the group. I've got full belief that the group will respond in the right way, and we'll stay together, and we'll get a positive result next weekend.
Boss's first defeat since he's arrived, was any different in the changing room after the game today when he came in with the defeat?
Oh, I think that's got to be the message. The message has got to be it's one game of football. And we come back into training Monday with smiles on our faces, and we know if we stick to what we do and we are calm in what we do, we'll get more points than not. So one game, move on, stay together.
But great to have the crowds back, isn't it? It's a bit more like a match day, as you're saying, and everyone's got to embrace that, haven't they, going forward?
Yeah, there's a different feel to it, and I must say I've missed it. That's why we play football. I thought the fans were fantastic as well. I think it was important lads showed them respect at the end of the game and in defeat, because they stayed with us for 90 minutes. There was no negativity, and we're going to need that. Listen, when we get promoted, you have to stay like that and stay together. It's not just about us 11 out on the pitch. It's the subs, it's the coaching staff, it's the people upstairs, it's the chefs at the training ground, the cleaners, you guys as well, and the fans. The fans are huge. So it's all about staying together, and we'll be fine in the long run.
And it's the sharp end of the season that matters. I mean, every time that you've gone up, it's that last 10 or 12 games when you're really strong. If you're there or thereabouts, you've got to give yourself a great chance then to go up a league, don't you?
Yeah, well, I said it in the week. We've not done anything yet. We've just won 8 games of football in November. It means nothing. Every time I've ever been promoted, I don't look at the league table till February, March time. So we just have to make sure we keep ticking off the games, hopefully pick up more points than not, and in the long term we'll be fine.
With that different dynamic today with the fans back in, obviously as the goalkeeper and a captain, you're normally directing things from the back there. Was it any more difficult to do that with the extra noise in there, and also the fact that how busy you were through the game?
Yes, I know, but I think a lot of my talking and good talking throughout a game of football comes through the thirds. So we've got, if you look through the middle of our team, we've got a spine of experienced and captains really. So me being able to speak to Clarkey being able to speak to Jay being able to speak to Vaughan and Cole top. So it's about keeping the pitch loud. It just can't come from one area. It has to come through the thirds, and as I say, it's just one game. And I think the way the game went and the quick 2 goals in the start of the second half probably created the chances that happened towards the end of the game. You start committing more men forward, you're not focusing on the defending because you're trying to get back in the game. So as I say, not worried about it going forward. We know what we are, and we know what we're capable of, and we know what we've got to go forward.
Been on a great run, but that said, other teams are now going to watch a video of how Walsall played today and look at how they can replicate the same type of thing, and you've got to be ready for that, haven't you?
That's the best way of putting it. You've got to be ready for it. Someone who we all know very well, former manager, used to say, every game of football is different. You've got to find a way of winning that game. Just find a way. Today we didn't. Games change. Games aren't always going to be how you want them to be. You have to find a way of winning a game of football, and sometimes it might not be how you want to do it, but it's the way to do it. So we have to, that comes from us as players on the pitch as well. We have to take responsibility and use our experience to do that. Do
you think that experience today might do Tranmere a favour in the long term, given they've been on such a nice run?
Obviously you don't want to lose games of football, but I sit here in front of you now, I'm a realist. The best teams in the world lose games of football. So it's about, when you do lose, don't lose focus, reset and do what you've done that's got you success to go forward. You can't get caught up in the defeat, and the teams that struggle do. So we've got, as I say, we've got enough experience in the dressing room. We've got a manager with all the experience in the world, so we'll be fine going forward.